You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Amy McGorry. The National Transportation Safety Board says there is not yet an identified preliminary cause to the deadly helicopter crash in the Hudson River. The NYPD is still diving for pieces of the helicopter in the river, looking for the main rotor and tail structure. The NTSB is focused on examining the wreckage and pulling components from the engine. The agency is also looking into pilot qualifications and maintenance logs.
We do have the logbooks for the pilot. The pilot held a commercial pilot certificate with rotorcraft and instrument ratings. As of March 29, 2025, the pilot accumulated about 788 hours of total flight time.
The pilot and a family of 5 from Spain, 2 adults and 3 children, were killed in the crash. The helicopter was operated by a tourism company. It happened Thursday afternoon. The NTSB is asking the public to please send any photos or videos to them. That email address is witness@ntsb.gov. A state lawmaker is calling on Congress for better road safety measures on Long Island. This comes after Newsday's ongoing investigation into dangerous roads.
Every 7 minutes, a crash causing death, injury, or significant property damage occurs on our roads. Our region currently leads the state in traffic fatalities.
Laura Gillen is asking for legislation to reduce the legal blood alcohol content limit for drivers. The Congresswoman is also calling for better resources and tools for police to deter reckless drivers. A barn in Yaphank was destroyed in a fire today. It happened on a U-Pick strawberry and pumpkin farm on Horseblock Road. Police say no people or animals were hurt in that fire. The owner tells Newsday the farm will still be able to be open in June for strawberry picking season. And it's a soggy start to the weekend today. Let's take a quick look at tomorrow's weather. Good day to sleep in, waking up to the rain that will hang around most of the day. A bit chilly with temps in the low 40s. We'll have your 7-day in just a few minutes. New EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin spoke at an event on Long Island today and drew some protesters. Andrew Anger has more.
Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin back on the island, but now carrying the title of EPA Administrator, a position he says he's proud to hold in the Trump administration.
It doesn't matter whether you're conservative, moderate, liberal, Republican, Democrat, independent, especially here on Long Island. We care about having clean air, land, and water.
Zeldin spoke to several hundred members of the Long Island Association at the Crest Hollow Country Club in Woodbury Friday. It's his first major address on the island since becoming EPA administrator just a couple months ago. But in that time, he says, he's made billions of dollars in cuts to the agency and eased environmental regulations to spur economic growth.
One of the biggest changes is that we aren't going to be trying to strangulate the economy. We're not going to regulate industries out of existence.
While Zeldin was inside the Crest Hollow Country Club in front of a friendly audience, outside, a different story.
Lee Zeldin, show you care.
Protesters demonstrated Zeldin's rapid cuts to personnel and environmental regulations at the EPA, in addition to seemingly forgetting how important the environment is to his home region.
He's a Long Islander. His children drink the same water, breathe the same air that we do, and that he could do this. It's unconscionable.
I think he's forgotten what's happened to Hurricane Sandy and the disasters that we had, and he's not fighting to make sure that we are protected from hurricanes and tornadoes and disasters.
But Zeldin defended his record on the environment, saying he has tightened water quality regulations in some parts of the country and is looking at others. While here on the island, Newsday has reported a federal EPA measure intended to ban and phase out TCE, a toxin commonly found in contaminated groundwater, has been delayed by a Trump executive order and litigation. But Zeldin pointed to his record on groundwater toxins like PFAS and that the EPA hasn't eased those.
At this point, this moment in time, there isn't an internal discussion that has been had with me as far as changing the limit on PFAS.
But some of these demonstrators aren't so sure.
I think he's more concerned about his political career than he is about where he came from and important issues like clean air and clean water.
In Woodbury, Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
A Long Island lawmaker is calling for a federal hearing over the rise in deadly crashes on Long Island. Newsday transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo has those details.
There were some other measures that she laid out. She talked about coming up with a bill that would provide incentives for municipalities to build roundabouts at dangerous intersections to slow down traffic. Also supporting efforts to provide more funding for local police departments for what she called high visibility enforcement. These are, these very flashy traffic stops where police are pulling people over, lots of lights, a lot of visibility to make it clear that if you're driving drunk or recklessly, you will get pulled over.
You can read more about our Dangerous Road series that explores what's driving a staggering number of deaths and injuries on Long Island by going to Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
It came up on us like this. The flames were at least 50 feet tall, if not taller. Very violent.
An exclusive look inside the largest wildfire fight on Long Island in 30 years.
This is why I wanted them out of there.
And the aftermath.
We noticed come across the Long Island Sound, we could see the fire from all the way to Connecticut.
An elite combat search and rescue team scrambling into action here at home.
Shortening what we traditionally would call the kill chain, just in this case, instead of enemy, the enemy was, fire.
A drill day for the West Hampton-based 106th Rescue Wing turned into an all-hands operation.
It's luck of the draw. If we weren't here working that day, I'm not so sure the rest of this base might not have burned to the ground.
We got a bird's eye view of the 400 acres of pine barrens scorched by the March fire on board an Air National Guard HH-60W. You can see how close the flames were to destroying these businesses before firefighters were able to knock back the fire.
The major concern in this area here was there was a fireworks storage area with what we heard was 20,000 pounds of fireworks, and also a pool storage chemical facility with chlorine.
My fear was potentially if those do ignite, it could add more fuel source and now send projectiles to residential areas, making this a lot worse.
The wind, the biggest challenge.
With 50-mile-an-hour winds blowing the fires, and we all saw what happened in California. Those fires can spread real quick.
So it just pushes the heat. It preheats all of the fuel, the trees, the leaves. So it's all ready to ignite. It'll probably ignite even before flames hit it.
The best weapon they had to battle the wind-driven walls of fire was air support. Helicopters armed with what are called Bambi buckets picked up water from Wildwood Lake in Riverhead and dropped it on the flames.
My job on the back on the right door was control the Bambi bucket. So I have a trigger in my hand, and what I do is once we determine where we're gonna hit the fire, give me a 3-second countdown and say drop, drop, drop.
At that point, no more than 60 seconds between helicopters on the objectives. So that was able to keep a constant stream of buckets over the objectives, and that helped beat the fire down enough so that any of the personnel on the ground were then able to get control.
See that lake? That's where helicopters went and grabbed buckets of water, 500-gallon buckets of water, and then headed to the brush fire and dumped them. They did that about 28 times. It's about 14,000 gallons of water they were able to dispense onto the brush fires to fight them.
With assistance from 3 Ronkonkoma-based Army helicopters, the water drops helped more than 80 local fire departments get the upper hand.
To be able to leverage all this capability, bring all that training together, and have everybody execute the way they did, I think we had that fire pretty much knocked down and suppressed within a few hours, compared to 95 where it raged on for days.
The flames happened to break out on a drill weekend, with the airbase brimming with personnel.
Typically on a weekend, we're not here active training. We might have a dozen or so firefighters. We had the full firehouses here. We had the full ops team, the full maintenance team that could generate the aircraft. That took hundreds of people.
In the end, lessons from the past help prevent a future disaster.
The way we employ the Bambi buckets and how we drop water on the fires and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff was really put to the test back in '95. But we've sustained that capability just in case this ever happened again.
Tactics learned from training with firefighters in Southern California also help keep the flames contained, saving homes and potentially lives.
Being able to actually help when people were in need and when the community was in need is a huge part of why we do what we do, and I am honored to be part of it.
Ken Bufa, Newsday TV.
Feed Me is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
So I am not from Long Island, but I live on the South Shore of Nassau County now, and I was at a restaurant recently and I saw something on the menu said our signature tidbits, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I decided to go on a journey, a tidbit journey, to learn all about this iconic Long Island food. Is the tidbit like, is it a little bit Irish? Is it Italian? Like what?
No, I mean, I would say it's Irish, it's meat. My take is it's more of a version of like a steak sandwich broken down and something easier to eat.
MacArthur Park in Rockville Center has been serving tidbits since 1972. And some of the regulars have been eating them since the place opened. How often do you come here?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'm retired now, and this is usually my seat, but those shirts are dangling in my face.
How long have I been eating tidbits? I'm going to say 40 years.
How often do you eat tidbits?
Maybe 2 times, 3 times a week.
Is it a treat? Is it something casual? How does it make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel overwhelmed because you're eating a tidbit at a time.
We use a club roll, which is butter, garlic, toast it. Then we cook steak, slice it, put it on the bread, cheese, melt it on the broiler.
I'm just so happy when I discovered a Long Island food. This food has been popular on the South Shore for like at least 50 years and it's not really talked about. I love that horseradish sauce. That is so good. It's like eating at Arby's. I honestly really like the chicken tidbits too because, you know, trying to eat a little healthier these days. But you know what? I think I like the steak better. It's a carnal pleasure, ripping the meat with your teeth. Almost like eating a steak, but a little bit more cash. For Newsday TV, I'm Andy Berlin. Tidbit, 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 tidbit.
Well, if you're heading out to one of the local restaurants tonight or Saturday, you're going to keep that umbrella handy as we take a closer look at your 7-day forecast. Rainy day Saturday, Sunday is the better day of the weekend with some sun and temps in the mid-50s. A nice week ahead with sun and temperatures reaching the 60s midweek. Then the rain returns towards the end of the week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
You're watching Newsday TV. For more on all the stories you've seen today, head on over to newsday.com and just click on Get More. It's right there under the Newsday TV video box. I'm Amy McGorry. Thanks for joining us.